But yeah, man, I don't know, like, I'm just saying, that last Terminator movie just was shit.
Yeah, I know. It was bad. What were we even talking about?
The PIM particles.
Oh, yeah. I got confused because there's just as many plot holes in that as there is the fucking Terminator.
Time travel, size changing. What is that? What's up with that?
Welcome to our new show. What's up with that? This is a show where we take something that we think's got a lot of plot holes or issues with its story arc, and we kind of just tear it up.
Yeah, you know, just the questionability of how powers work, where things come from, why they exist.
And today the issue is the PIM particle.
Yeah, originally created by Hank Pym as a elixir. I think of elixir to me like magic potion type thing.
Sciencey. It was kept in a beaker.
Yeah. Anything in a beaker is just questionable.
You know, there for a little period, he wore a suit that looked like it had two beakers, like right there on his belt. Like the belt buckle was just two beakers of
science.
PIM particles.
And it's like, why wouldn't he call it like PIM juice?
PIM juice?
All the ladies, they only looking for PIM juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
So we start off as the elixir, you know.
Yeah, and it's like he dumps it like on it. There's panels where he just like dumps it on his skin or
takes a bath in it,
yeah.
and then
he just like puts it on it.
Can't get back to the remedy elixir.
Yeah. They acted like in the beginning the suit did something, but it didn't. Like the helmet's just so he can talk to ants. It changes his vocalization tones to like where ants can understand it.
Instead of talk to text, it's a talk to ant.
Yeah. So, okay, check it out. You'd see him do the dumping thing in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then, like, after that, it was like a pill?
Yeah.
But I don't remember ever seeing anybody pop pills.
Yeah, and I believe that was something that didn't last as long because of the authorities of the comic book authorities
and continuity-wise, Hank Pym could only shrink, and then by the time he developed the pill, he could be Giant Man too. Yeah. But they tried to put a little bit of reality to it. They said, like, if he grew over 12 feet, he like would no longer get stronger. His density would separate, so like he would collapse on his own weight, and he couldn't really do nothing.
Kind of like a giraffe issue, like.
And they also said the longer you stayed in like a shrunken or larger state was more of a physical strain on your body and your mind, and
I would think so. I mean,
I guess identity issues.
The reality of you feel like a really small fish in a really big pond.
Yeah, or whatever. I don't know. Hank Pym seems to be the only one that had any issues.
You know, the world itself is already a big place.
Yeah.
And then you had to go and make it even bigger for yourself.
But anyway, in the beginning they kept it like that. And his wife, Janet Van Dyne, she could shrink. And she shot like stinger blasts.
Yeah, it was like air, like a
it was compressed air, even though it sure did look like a laser to me or something, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, it was just like having a pellet gun.
Yeah.
And you pump it up like 24 times, and you shoot your friend in the forehead without having a pellet in it and leaves a welt. That's what she had. She beats villains with that.
By the way, it didn't feel good.
Yeah. So that shit's weak.
She could, and they had the bio-enhanced. She could fly.
Yeah.
Where he couldn't.
Why would he not? Okay.
But he rode flying ants, and that was way cooler.
Yeah, because that's always going to be handy. Why not have? So if you turn giant, then you'd have giant freaking wings, man.
That would be awesome. You can fly everywhere, all the time. Just fly for no, just go.
Right?
That would be great.
What? Anyway,
so after the elixir, after the pill, then it became a gas.
Yeah, and that made sense, right? Like you'd inhale it through the helmet because it looks like an oxygen helmet,
gas.
kinda.
Yeah, like an oxygen helmet, and that was enough to, shrink you, and then at this point you could shrink, you could grow, you could...
Yeah.
You pretty much, you had tanks left and right that just did all kinds of different stuff for you. So...
And then Hank Pym, goes through some identity issues and becomes several different people. He's like Goliath and Yellow Jacket, and for a while, he too dons a costume like his wife's and is the Wasp.
The Wasp, yeah. After so much of the exposure to it, the mental and physical strain, it also apparently gives you the ability to produce on your own.
Yeah, but that seems to only affect Hank and his wife.
And Jane.
So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. But even though it's got to affect other people. Because there's been several people that use the Pym particle.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Quite a list.
After Hank Pym, you had Scott Lang Ant-Man, and Scott Lang Ant-Man could shrink, and that was it. Like he'd shrink.
Yeah. And now this is the Scott Lang Ant-Man that we're now basing the new.
Oh, the new Marvel movie.
Marvel film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new film's based on him.
Paul Rudd, thief with a heart of gold.
That's Scott Lang pretty much. They portray him fairly well, and then after that you have Eric O'Grady.
Unredeemable doesn't even define it.
Yeah.
That
Eric
guy
O'Grady's
is
crap.
a shitbag in the worst way.
He is. He's a terrible person. But the Eric O'Grady Ant-Man, although terrible at being any kind of hero or anything like that, he can shrink and grow, and he's got a jetpack and a flamethrower. At one point, S.H.I.E.L.D. commissioned Hank Pym to make a suit for him, right? Because he wasn't going to be Ant-Man no more, and Scott Lang died, and they wanted to have an Ant-Man of their own, right?
Yeah, so he made... S.H.I.E.L.D. related, it's going to be high-tech,
of course.
Powered mass destruction on a minor scale.
Yeah, but he was supposed to be able to pick the guy, but then Eric O'Grady through a long story of crap, let his friend die and a bunch of stuff like that, and he stole the suit and ended up being the third Ant-Man.
The worst Ant-Man. Just bad kind of those awkward, uncomfortable moments in life. Honey, I'm pregnant. Shrink, run away.
Yeah.
Oh, what? There's people dying around me? Shrink, run away.
Yeah, I mean, the series was called The Irredeemable Ant-Man for a reason.
Yeah. Just using it in the worst kind of ways. I'm going to shrink down and watch a girl in the shower.
Yeah, he was that kind of guy.
Cops are busting in my door. I'm going to jump through the keyhole before they get there. And
Yeah. So, see, he was that kind of guy. And he never did anything worthwhile, really. But, I mean, this is the point of what we're getting at, is all these suits work differently, and then there's a bunch of other characters, too. There was Goliath,
yeah,
and then a bunch of different people
multiple Goliaths. There's been multiple Ant-Mans, a couple of different Wasps.
At one point, Hawkeye was even Goliath for a little bit, and he just took on that persona and had the ability to grow.
And when he gave it up, kept a trick arrow just in case.
Yeah.
You never know when you might want to shrink a guy.
You never know.
Without a secondary trick arrow to grow it back, I'm not sure how that would work.
I don't know, man. You just, you rub it on you. Yeah, originally.
So yeah, and then, we got multiple people have used it.
Here's the thing, though. Check this out. If you look at the Goliath costumes, it doesn't
really
look like
simple.
this. It's a serum or a gas that powers it. They have no kind of helmet. They just grow.
Yeah.
They just grow.
Is that one of those I keep some in my pocket and I just rub it like a lucky penny and then I grow big?
Yeah. This is why this is the point of this video today. Is the Pym particle doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they never take a notion to try and make it make sense. They just kind of meh.
Yeah. You remember how we said in the beginning that they tried to kind of use science, you know, and like if he grew bigger, his density separated more, so he really couldn't handle his own weight and stuff like that.
After a time period,
that's just
they're just no. He can
well,
be as big
I
as
fixed
he wants.
that.
Yeah, Goliath can be as big as he wants.
I have a new serum, and it's better,
Yeah.
or whatever, you know.
Just
And
tweak the formula a little.
these are like huge errors that like you try and figure out stuff he could do. Like Scott Lang's poor, so you would think like maybe he would just, if he's hungry and him and his kid or his family or whatever can't eat, they could just like shrink and eat like a oatmeal cream pie, you know, like in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You know, like, and see, we don't know. We don't know. That's the problem, because at one point they act like you can do that.
One
another point you
cheeseburger
can't.
will feed your family for a year.
Yeah, why not?
As long as you're tiny.
But I guess what, you grow big again, the food stays small. Well, why not just stay small till it digests?
Couldn't you, in that case, couldn't you like take a loaf of bread to Ethiopia and blow it up?
Yeah,
End
why
world-
not? Why
end
not?
world
Because
hunger?
eventually they fix that problem with human density. So I would think like if a person can grow giant and crush stuff, that you can grow giant bread.
Or an enormous cow and only have milk forever.
This does present the question: could the Pym particle solve all of the world's problems, but he's too much of an asshole to do it? It's possible. It's possible. I mean, we're not even getting into the really crazy stuff.
The fact that it delves into multiple dimensions.
Not even multiple dimensions, the way other characters use them.
Oh,
I mean, think about that. I mean, you know, you got Deadpool.
They give you way more options of how to use it.
Deadpool uses Scott Lang's helmet to like shrink the Avengers Mansion.
Yeah.
And like crushes it and kills everybody. If you're wondering why they're not all just dead, it's because that's out of continuity.
Yeah,
And then he used the same helmet to like Thor like threw his hammer at him, and he just like kicked it back and made it giant right before it hit him, and it just killed him.
Nice. I kind of liked at one point the Punisher got a hold of some Pym particles, and he shrank himself down. Ordered a delivered pizza to the bad guy's hangout, and when the bad guy ate the pizza, he expanded inside his mouth and blew up his head.
Brilliant.
Exactly. It seems like not Ant-Man have a better idea of how to use the particles.
Yeah. Even though you go from each Ant-Man to Goliath, or even the villains that have run across this, like a bunch of villains have gotten a hold of it and done all kinds of crap with it. But none of them seem to have just absorbed the particle like Jan and Hank, which makes me think they know something everybody else don't.
Yeah, they keep that secret in their back pocket.
And also, how come no one else in the Marvel Universe can figure this freaking serum out? It's like the only thing he's ever made besides freaking Ultron, which,
they say what Hank
good job, Hank. But anyway, he's like the 5th smartest person in the world.
Yeah, like in the whole Marvel universe.
Yeah,
it's a lot of people.
You would think somebody like maybe Reed Richards would have figured out how to make Pym particles or something.
Or Valeria.
Yeah, Valeria's. I mean, she is actually smarter than Reed. And see, that's what you do. Like when you when you reset your universe, have Valeria create Pym particles and make her the new Ant-Man. That way she's got a power besides being brilliant.
Yeah,
you know,
tiny little genius.
Yeah, because it's hard to buy that that's all that guy was ever worth was Pym particles and Ultron. But that's what he gave us. Yeah, and
murderous death bot.
Yeah. He's awesome. I mean, he's a bit different in the comics than in that super cool movie, but. And we haven't even gotten to the idea of the microverse.
Oh, yeah.
See, if you shrink so small, you will go subatomic.
Yeah, you become smaller than an atom.
And then you go to the microverse, which is another universe that's the size of an atom. Yeah,
which raises a lot of impossible questions, like how do you breathe if you're smaller than an atom or a molecule?
Yeah. And then if we could get the continuity right on how Pym particles work, we could answer questions like, hey, if you're in the microverse, can you grow the microverse?
Yeah, can I start shooting stuff in the microverse and blowing it up bigger?
Yeah. Can I do something like that? Like what can they do?
Exactly.
You know?
Where is the microverse? Like,
well, it's
this is a dimension.
It's an alternate dimension. You know, it's like a pocket dimension. I mean, then there's the underverse and the oververse, which are also pocket dimensions that PIM particles can get you to, and like all this is like what? Like you try and look back.
Interdimensional travel by size shifting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you try and look back at all their stuff that they did with the continuity for this character, and it's just it starts out on a straight and narrow path, and it just kind of goes all over the place, and you're lost in the woods where you know it.
Just left turn out of nowhere.
Yeah,
you're off your rocker and off the rails.
I mean, it's his continuity is so hole-filled. So, I mean, since we, as readers, have so many problems trying to make sense out of the PIM particle and stuff, we thought it'd be a cool idea to shoot a video just talking about it.
Yeah, just, you know, put some ideas out there, you know, how we think it works, or...
Yeah, we still think this character belongs and has powers too. I mean, Hank Pym did form the Avengers, and he did found Avengers Mansion.
Yeah.
So, like, whatever, you know, but...
I mean,
man,
there's a lot of
story,
good ideas you could go with that. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
You could go all over the place with it, and they don't.
No, they don't.
So
they don't.
I feel like there's a lot more vast potential for ways you could use those powers.
Oh yeah.
Not even as a superhero, just in general. You can do a lot of things with that.
You would think, but they don't.
Man,
hey,
imagine.
Well,
imagine
they make it not make sense. They do that well.
Yeah.
You know, but
imagine like travel.
Everything else seems.
If you shrink everybody down and then put them on a really big airplane.
Oh yeah.
You can move like a whole continent of people at one time.
And see, they always say they want like the PIM particle for like SHIELD wants it and stuff for like military applications or stuff like that. That literally you could like feed the nation, do all this crap. There's like so much other stuff you could do that would be way better. So I don't know. That comes to a close with us where this is something that we're just like, what's up with that?
Don't forget, please like and subscribe.